Blessings. Welcome. Welcome to everyone who is gathering together. And most especially, welcome to the initiates of the world. And so there are those few of you who gather closely around the Rishi whom I nurture, whom I mentor, whom I ignite, literally ignite with the omniscient brilliance of supreme light. And there are initiates the world over that are at various stages of taking initiation to the auspices of a master or the auspices of the overlighting of the spiritual hierarchy. And for those who are called the initiates who take initiation through the direct Christ anointing and are receiving the overlighting of the Christ presence, that Christed illumination that speeds up the development of the soul, that accelerates the lifting of vibration for those initiates who are going through the transformational process. For we, the masters of the spiritual hierarchy, with every single initiation that any of you take, our radiance as a collective overlights you. We buffer, if you will. We sponsor you, if you will. But we enable your nervous system to receive that omniscient fire of God consciousness, and to receive it in such a way that each of you can best assimilate it into your nervous system, into your cellular composition, into the integration of your daily life as well. And so understand that for every initiate who takes initiation on this planet, whether it is on the idea of the astral plane, and for those who feel that an arduous life circumstance or passage is somehow the same thing as taking an initiation, I would have to say that it is not the direct transmission of the fire of God consciousness that I'm speaking of when I talk about the spiritual initiations, the celestial initiations of the Brotherhood of Light, the spiritual hierarchy of the great masters. When the rod is ignited and the ignition of time itself is brought into a fiery divine immediacy, and the inflow of omniscient light is powerfully surging through your body, your mind, your heart, your emotions, your entire aura, and your body quakes and you tremble, and perspiration begins, and the giving birth to that download of light begins. That is the omniscient initiation of which I speak. And so for true acceleration, that boon to be taking place in your life, a master or masters is required to guide you, to protect you, to show you the way, to sponsor you for each level of initiation that you take. And so you may have one master or group of masters that sponsors you during the soul merge phase of the Christ anointing, or the soul merge phase of the quickening of light, the surges of light that begin the accelerated process of Omni awakening. This is not the awakening process of mere mindfulness. This is the accelerated boom of the prime directive, that all-powerful cosmic force that is bequeathed and bestowed upon selected human beings, selected initiates, who choose and make that great decision to undergo rapid transformation, to attain awakening, to attain enlightenment in a single lifetime, but moreover to uplift the planetary vibration. And so there are those of you, I'm sure, and those of you with whom I have walked with such deep companionship and appreciation, who are taking initiation as potently as possible, as quickly as possible, integrating as quickly as possible as your full life, full time imperative for the purpose, the sole purpose of uplifting the planetary vibration. So, salutations to all initiates who are taking initiation, who are enduring the fire, who are expanding through the cross of the worlds and through the highest of the initiations, the major initiations, solely as a form of divine service to humanity, to the kingdoms of earth, and very certainly to your fellow initiates, as your gift of total sacrifice of anything that could ever be considered a personal life. To the impersonal divine, the dasa, the slave of God, the slavery to God that I delight in, that same dasa, the benevolent dasa that becomes the master, you see. So the initiations of which I speak, they give direct transmission of the overshadowing of the master or masters. They give direct revelation of the sacred knowledge from the great halls of illumination for this universe, which is the Royal Path, which is the Royal Path archives, are the archives of the great halls of illumination. And this light comes powerfully surging in through the crown chakra, the higher chakras, when they have been developed, when they have been readied through Omni meditation, through transcendent meditation, and through the overshadowing of the spiritual hierarchy, which sometimes begins in childhood, sometimes begins in adolescence, you see. For me, I took my very first initiation in this lifetime at the age of 7 years old. And masters were manifesting before me by the time I was 16. And so the city ability of opening the divine quarters, of opening the portals of time themselves, whereby the masters amass their vibration to materialize and can be palpably felt. As the rod is raised, as the omniscient force of God consciousness is bestowed. That is the celestial initiation of the Royal Path, of which I speak. The Royal Path, the transcendent nobility of the soul, the master self, and the avatar that you truly are, and the awakening of that super genius, enlightened selfhood that is that from which you were conceived. Your very birthright. Your birthright, your birthright, your birthright. And so as I share with you about the royal path of spiritual initiation, perhaps you can begin to behold, to understand in your heart of hearts, that the light that you are receiving that causes the tremoring, the quickening, the transcendence, the leaving behind the temporal identity entirely, where you eclipse the smallness of a single incarnation to have that expansive divine immediacy of your timeless universal presence. That is the illumination, the process of spiritual initiation that I'm speaking about. And so once again, there are many, many forms of spiritual initiation, from mere rituals, which prepare the mind, which prepare the persona in this lifetime or future lifetimes to actually receive that omniscient moment where divine light is all that there is and no other reality can be cognated or perceived. So powerful is the transcendence that takes place when the download of divine presence is surging through your body, which opens the divine corridor, which opens your pillar of light, which opens your higher chakras, which opens your lower chakras. So that flow of light from the source of the heart, of the central sun itself, can be anchored all the way through you as the instrument into the heart of Mother Earth, thereby uplifting the vibration of matter itself on this planet. And as the vibration of matter is uplifted on this planet, it becomes the fertile ground that can nurture, that can support, that can provide materiality to the refined human prototype of the future and what we are truly capable of. And so we can speak in more metaphysical terms that initiation brings about the divine prototype, or we can use a different understanding, a loving understanding, that God so outpours the love and outspins the light that it is into the beloved, cherished soul, the very child, the very prodigy of avatar consciousness. You see, that love finds love. That the love of God, the mercy of God, speeds up that evolutionary process, the divine evolution of the human soul. To unsheath the old and don the new. To unsheath the density and don a robe of light that is palpable, that is radiant. And so it is through the initiations of the royal path of omni-awakening. So too is the robe of light built in with every initiation that the initiate takes. And so if you can appreciate the incredible, unprecedented, unparalleled opportunity to to take initiation. Then know also that no initiate takes initiation in a vacuum, but rather the entire spiritual hierarchy is the overlighting presence that modulates and assists with the assimilation of the omniscient cosmic fire of creation that sparks and quickens and accelerates not just the awakening process, dear ones, but divine evolution itself. So that the noble soul, the noble heart, the royal heart of enlightenment can be manifest on earth through as many initiates as possible. And so the royal path master teachings are for initiates. They are for adepts, arhats, and kohans. Do you see? Because the Brotherhood of Light, the spiritual hierarchy itself, is externalizing. The externalization of the great hierarchy has begun. And so the enlightenment of many more initiates has also begun. And it is a primary directive, focus, and activation that we of the spiritual hierarchy are nurturing, are guarding, are mentoring, are caring for, are focusing, and are overlighting. We are overlighting you many times for years, if not decades, before you take initiation. For months, if not years, before you take your next initiation, and the next, and the next, until the overlighting is continual and constant. And we assist you to restore the cosmic constant itself of omnipresence through and through your being. And so the entraining of God consciousness begins with the very first quickening. But the full entraining, the full transformation of the blood and the bones and the cells and the DNA, that is what the flowering of enlightenment and the process of making a commitment to take initiation to its full potential on this planet. To move through the first initiation, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, which at one point in time was as high as any human being had ever taken initiation. But now, with the new potential, the seventh, the eighth, and the ninth initiation are also beginning to take place more and more and more. And so understand, if I really, truly offer you this bit of an overview on taking initiation, that I am sending out a radiant broadcast to the initiates of the world. As you answer the clarion call, so too shall we be there, and our overlighting shall begin to hasten your ability to transcend time and take your place amongst the great lodges and orders of creation guardianship in this planet. And all of the masters and all of their lineages and all of their special city abilities and assignments and areas of focus to uplift all the kingdoms of our planet and the planet itself and the universes and the cosmos, do you see, is a single hierarchical expression of divine service. And that is the fellowship of benevolence that welcomes you to attain enlightenment in this lifetime. Yes, this lifetime. This lifetime. Yes, you, this lifetime. Also you, and 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 you. Enlightenment, the new potential, the new potential, the new life legacy, dear ones. By taking initiation, the process of omni-awakening is accelerated in an unparalleled manner. And so sit with your heart of hearts. Sit with your desire, your divine desire, your divine knowing, that instinctual divine fire of imperative within you. Are you called to take initiation? Are you called to walk that path of the transcendent, noble soul, the awakened, enlightened soul? If so, I welcome you. I offer my broadcast, it is unceasing, to the initiates of the world.